Testing, testing. Hey everybody, you should be able to hear me now. Wow, okay. Hey everyone.
Testing, testing. Hey everybody,
Oh.
you should be able to hear me now.
Let's do this. There we go. You guys should be able to hear me now. I'm going to give it just a second and make sure I get some confirmation from the chat that we are here. You guys can hear me. Everything is going well. Hi Sarah, hi Carissa, hi Annie, hi Alex, hi Tony, hi Gray, hi Aldo, hi, oh my gosh, Christine, hi Erica. If you guys can hear me, please give me a all clear. I can hear myself, but I should be good now. I think I should be good to go. All right, great. Well, without further ado, let's get this underway. Welcome to the 5th Dreaming in Script graduation ceremony. It has been a long time coming that we should make it to this milestone, and I couldn't be more excited and proud about everything we've accomplished and everything that we're going to do in the future. Tonight we are honoring 12 students who have made it through their Dreaming in Script programs, 9 of which penned certificates of merit, and 3 of which applied for certificates of completion. As always, I'm going to explain a little bit about what that means and what the certificates mean before we get started. So, the certificate of completion, let's start there. When a student goes through a Dreaming in Script program and they get to the very end, there is a final quiz. And that final quiz is kind of difficult. It has a bunch of questions on it. They've changed over the years, but the constraint is that the students need to be able to complete that final quiz with a high score. So for the certificate of completion, you have to get a 90% or better. You have to get an A on this test. And that has been historically a stumbling block for some students who otherwise would have completed and graduated, but they just didn't get that score on that final quiz, which is a little bit disappointing to me. So we're going to be making some changes moving forward. Once they get that score that they're looking for, they have to finish a full exemplar and submit that to me. An exemplar, if you're not a calligrapher, is basically a sheet that shows or demonstrates the alphabet as you've learned it. So they're required to do a minuscule and a majuscule exemplar. And in the engrosser script case, they're also required to do figures, which is fun, but it is a lot. So the certificate of completion is just that they finished the course, they turned in this homework, that they got that final score on the final quiz, and they are good to go. They did not pin a certificate, so their certificates are delivered digitally, but they are still considered alumni. Okay, the certificate of merit. This is a whole extra layer of complexity, and we're trying to do this in the spirit of the kind of the heritage of the Zinerian College, which is that you go through the calligraphy training course, and at the end you pin your certificate in the style that you learned. So I historically have offered certificates of merit for both French Roundhand and engrosser script, and you're going to see some of each of those tonight. The certificate of merit applicants have to do everything that the certificate of completion students have to do, with the exception of they have to have a 95% on the final quiz, and then they have to turn in their exemplar for a final critique, and the critiques are made available to all the applicants so they can kind of see where they stack up with their peers. And it's a really fun way to kind of see where everyone is leaving the course at and kind of what we're all walking away with. And it's just a really good experience. Now, what's daunting about this process for the certificate of merit is that once they've applied for it, they have to pay a printing fee, and the printing fee gets a art print made, which has the heading that I've written. It says Dreaming in Script. There's a seal marker at the bottom, and there's 2 lines, one on each side. Actually, there's 3 lines. There's 2 on my side and 1 on their side. And they get mailed this blank certificate, and they only get 1 of them. And it goes out all across the world. I mean, literally, we've had students in Antarctica. So all over the world. And the certificate gets to them, And I think we have some graduates here tonight that can talk about, how daunting that can be to get one piece of paper. And it's like it came all the way from over here in the United States, up here in Portland, and it made it to you. And obviously, if you're a calligrapher, you're thinking about, well, what if you make a mistake, or what if it gets lost or damaged? And we've seen everything. We've seen mistakes. We've seen upended ink that spilled ink all across the certificate. We've seen literally certificates that got run over by multiple trucks and came back super flat, squished like little paninis. It's a lot. I recognize that it's a lot, and it's a big challenge. Not everyone is interested in it, and so very few people that go through Dreaming in Script end up pursuing it. But for the people who do pursue it, it's a challenge that they tend to rise to. And I know personally, from having watched from this side of the screen and being on this side of the P.O. box, receiving them back, that it is a huge feat for these certificates to have gone from me to the graduates and then back to me again. And I honestly, when I say that, I couldn't be more proud. This is one of the most impressive things that I look for in calligraphers is courage. And this is such a courageous thing, to take the time to produce your work for your teacher, knowing that it's going to be shown on stream like this, knowing that your work is going to be exposed, that your successes and your failures are going to be kind of laid bare for the world to see. And it's just amazing. I think that's exactly what a penman should do, or a penwoman. It's exactly what pen folk should do. And it's something really special. So one of the things I will clarify, the certificates here even the certificates of merit are truly actually certificates of completion. They're just completion certificates that have been won through merit. I don't assign any level of skill or anything like that. These certificates are just a stepping stone in each of these graduates' stories with their script, and it's not going to be the best script they ever wrote, and it's not going to be the best script they will ever write. So every single one of these graduates is going to go on to have a healthy and happy career, hopefully, writing script for whatever reason, whether that means they want to do it professionally or they want to do it for family and friends. And it's something really special, and it's a kind of a coming of age moment for a lot of these students. So without further ado, I'm going to go to the top down, and we'll kind of get right into the presentation of these certificates. I hope you're ready for some glitter, and let's do it. Let's see if I can make this work. All right. Okay, so we're going to start tonight's ceremony by recognizing the Certificate of Completion recipients. All three of these recipients were in the French Roundhand course. So they went through the course, they finished the final quiz, they produced an exemplar, and without further ado, I gotta get my stuff right. Hold on. I'm juggling lots of balls here. Without further ado, I will present Aaron Edwards. Woohoo! Woohoo! Michael Hairston. Woohoo! 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 And Rachel Marks. Woohoo! Woo! Woo! The three of you were a wonderful addition to last year's French Roundhand class, and I truly enjoyed getting to watch your script grow and watch you develop. Everything that you shared, everything that you commented in the community forum, that participation goes a long way, and I want the three of you to know that you will always have a home with Dreaming in Script. We would love to see more of you in a future course or just hanging around the forum, and great job. All right, we're going to begin with the Engrosser Script certificates. So these certificates are from 6 individuals who pursued the Certificate of Merit program. They scored in the 95th or they scored 95% or higher on the final quiz, and then they produced an exemplar, and then they made this certificate. So up first we have Aldo Alcala. Woo! 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 One more for you, Aldo. Aldo is joining us tonight all the way from Germany, which is a long way from here. A long way from here. I have really enjoyed having Aldo in class this year. Kind of in my mind, Aldo is a musician first, and then his journey into penmanship has kind of been framed by that, at least in my perspective. He was studying flamenco guitar before getting into engrosser script, and I just had such a good time kind of joking with him and chatting with him about music and trying to find the commonality between our perspectives on script, which was I think I really find some kindred energy with musicians, so I enjoyed that. We had a couple of really nice calls throughout the process, both in connection with the final quiz and with the certificate kind of process, and I have just so enjoyed watching Aldo rise to the challenge. He has a pretty stressful life, and it was really inspiring to me when I received this one in the mail. So Aldo, I just want to say I'm very, very proud of you. I know that you worked really hard on this, getting to this point, and I hope that whatever you decide to do with your engrosser script, that it's rewarding and that it is something that can bring light and joy to your life, because you're an amazing person, and I just hope that we get to see more of you in DIS in the future. So thanks for being here with us, man. All right, next we have all the way from, I actually don't know where, I don't know where you live, Alexander, but we have Alexander Dinchev. Woohoo! Woohoo! With a name like that, I want to say Russia, but I actually think that that's not correct. Woohoo! Alexander was an interesting person to have with us I'll move it down a little bit, in class this year. He's an engineer by trade, and I've just watched him in his communication with the other students go through the process of learning to meticulously space his script. He had some of the most insightful posts this year, asking questions about how things are spaced, particularly majuscules back to minuscules. He came up with a couple of nice solutions for a kind of a spacing thing that we do in Dreaming in Script called interval theory. And one of the things that I really liked about Alexander was that I kept seeing him talk in his comments and his interactions with our students about pushing on when you make mistakes and not letting the mistakes change your appreciation for the process that is script writing. So Alexander, thank you so much for all of your hard work. I hope that we see you hanging out in the Engrosser Script chat space. Maybe you can continue to bring ideas to us, and we can all develop and grow from your influence. And you have it's a beautiful certificate, and I'm very honored to get to sign it for you. Great job. All right, up next, very near and dear to me, is probably the person who has submitted the most typos for my consideration in all the Dreaming Script materials. We have Christine Kunert. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yahoo! Go Christine! Oh, you get one more than that. Woo! Oh, that one's high energy. Woohoo! Woo! My first interaction with Christine was, or my first notable interaction to me was her sending me a PDF with like 70 typos and misspellings in the course materials, and I will admit that spelling is and has never been a strong suit of mine, but I was aghast that there were quite so many things to consider, and she was very sweet about it. Christine came in with the energy of, hey, I don't know if you want to know this, but I've been going through and I'm really enjoying the course and I've been saving these things for you. And yeah, it kind of became an inside joke, I feel like, with her and me, that I would just wait to hear from her and get the next couple lessons worth of typos, and I would go on and fix them. And but that's only one part of what Christine is. Christine actually had the highest post count for the year, and when I say that, it's not like I gamify all the posts and count, how many people comment, but Christine posted 220 times in the last year, which means that she posted most days. And whether those were posts about her script or posts about, something she was drawing or some sweaters she knitted for her grandkids or just a picture of the beach or whatever it was, she just kept coming back. And that was one of the things that, there were several times that I came to the forum and saw that Christine had been there and she had left something for us. And it wasn't that she was just dumping ideas or dumping content either. She was participating in people's posts. She was asking questions. She went all the way through the curriculum twice. She went all the way through and then reflected and then said, I'm going through again in preparation for the script. So it was just such a pleasure, Christine, to be able to talk with you and work with you this year. And I know, with your moving between, because you snowbird in Panama, that's a lot. Your life is complicated and you're kind of on the road a lot. And there were times when you couldn't get a hold of things, like your Masgrimes lining triangle didn't show up for a while. And so I just want to say thank you for your dedication and your hard work. Obviously, your script has just exploded in skill and ability, and it is so inspiring to me to see what you've accomplished in such a short amount of time. This is a beautiful certificate, and you should be very, very proud of yourself. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, Christine, thank you for being the glue that has held a lot of this year's students together. Awesome. All right, this next one. This one is fun. I think a little bit about what I want to say about each student beforehand. I'll put this one down, and I guess I'll put it down and start talking. This is Sneha Lakotia. Woo-hoo! 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 Sneha has been a faithful friend to so many of us here at Dreaming in Script. Sneha and Tony Esposito, who's here in the chat, they have been student mentors for several years now. And when you go into the student mentor program, it's because you go through the course, you show an aptitude for critique and a willingness to engage, and kind of you have some of the characteristics, the personality characteristics that I look for in student mentors, but also that I aspire to be as a penman. And Sneha has, over the last several years, just been in the Dreaming Script community in every way, almost every day, for years. So I couldn't ask for a better mentee. I couldn't ask for a better partner and classmate and friend. And I am just so incredibly proud that Sneha decided to come back and pursue the Certificate of Merit with the graduates this year. If you have watched every Dreaming in Script ceremony, you would probably know that Sneha actually received a Certificate of Completion in a previous year. She didn't quite want to go and do the Certificate of Merit because the Postal Service to India is inconsistent sometimes, but we put our heads together and we came up with a special label that we put on the tube, and it says something along the lines of, "Please don't open, this is a very special diploma inside." And for better or worse, that allowed us to kind of get this piece of paper through the Indian Post and all the way to her, and she worked on it. Talking about perfectionism has been a big theme this year, and Sneha wrote a really nice article for the blog about the blog on Masgrimes.com about her process producing the certificate of merit for her French Roundhand class. And I know that producing this was something that she really wanted to try to capture that same sense of satisfaction and not allow herself to become inundated by the desire to live up to the really big shadow that she casts. And I'll say that the script speaks for itself. That's one of the things here at DIS that I've been really adamant about, is that these certificates are a representation of the person who penned them. They're not David Grimes says this person's script is at a certain level. It's, this is the script, look at it, what do you think? And Sneha does that here in her script, but she also does that in her character. Every time she shows up, every time she gives critique, every time she talks someone off a ledge, including me. There are many, many times that dreaming in script has seemed like it was too much for me. And I have been very lucky, I should say, to have a friend like her, and I hope that that friendship continues for a long time. So, Sneha, look up to you. Oh, I told myself I wasn't going to get choked up. Let's try to bring it back. All right. Next we have a bad boy. Mr. Don Morrison. Woo! 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 I say bad boy because not only is Don cool, he's a pretty nice guy, but he did not sign his certificate, and we've had this happen before. I offered to put in a placeholder for him, but Don's too cool for school. He said he can take any ribbing I can dish out. So that's the extent of it, Don. I'll leave it to you to get it signed and get it all completed when it gets back to you. But I will say, Don has been an interesting student to interact with. We've known each other, I guess, through Dreaming in Script for a while, because Don he took the Flourishing course previously, and one of the things that he really wanted to do was to make really beautiful holiday cards. And so last year, the year before, we did a Dreaming in Script holiday card exchange, and he did. He gave some flourished birds to some of the dreamers, and I saw a post that he had done where he made a bunch of them. So, having gone through that course, which doesn't have a certificate at the end, Don decided he was going to jump in and do some grocer script with us. But Don's actually from a long lineage of letterers. His grandfather was a printer, and his dad was a neon bender. So Don kind of grew up around letters, and then I believe he got started with italic, maybe through some pens that his dad left him. So it's been really cool to have him come in here and pick up this new skill, and he's always participating in grocer script chat and hanging around, trying to stay on top of the word of the day and stuff like that. This is the first. This is one of the Dreaming in Script certificates of merit that was hand delivered, which is a fun fact. Normally they come to the post P.O. box, but Don lives here in the Pacific Northwest, so him and his wife were driving down. We got coffee, he handed it over, and I'm just so excited to have it and have it signed here for you, Don, and get it back to you and let you take it into the home stretch. So again, Don Morrison, wonderful work. Thanks for being a part of the community, man. I really appreciate it. Woohoo! All right. And our last Engrosso Script certificate goes to Richard Smith. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah! Woohoo! One more for you, Richard. You might notice something similar with this one. Richard didn't sign his either. So, I don't know if it's something I need to put in big bold letters in the certificate instructions. Sign your certificate. But I do think that, again, when you get this certificate, it's so daunting. I mean, just imagine it, writing here in the middle. You got the title across the top, and then you've got the seal marker and these two lines, and it's just this big empty space staring at you, and your mind's going a million miles a minute. You're going, well, what's going to fit on each line, and what if I make a mistake, and what if it's crooked, and how far does it go from the heading, and how far does it go from the seal? And that's one of the things I really like about this process, is that I leave a lot of that up to these graduates. They get the blank, and they have some of the skills assigned to them, but in a lot of ways, the way this is laid out is up to them. They have to communicate amongst themselves. They can look at certificates from previous years. And Richard, you did a fantastic job. One of the things I'll say about Richard is that while Christine had a really high post count, Richard had an insane post to comment count. So he had 156 comments in the last year. And only 20 posts in the forum. So Richard has been a cheerleader and a friend and an advocate for almost everyone in the community. I've seen at many turns his positivity is just radiates. He's always making funny memes and posting like he was working on some shoes or some radios or whatever he's doing. He's always just coming in really, really with a great heart and being really genuine with everyone. There's a project in the EngrossScript course where we do nameplates, so it's like your name and then you get a tagline. Richard's tagline was thoughtfully engrossed, and I think that is so perfect for what he's demonstrated with his character. I would say Richard is a very thoughtful person who is very kind and very present for his friends. I know there were many times that I came into the forum and saw something that Richard had said and would call Sneha or say, "Did you see Richard's post today?" And she'd go, "Yeah, he's so nice." So, Richard, thank you for bringing a little bit of that spark and a little bit of that joy to the community this year. It means a lot, and it really makes a big difference for everyone when we have shining stars like you. So, great job. Woohoo! Oh, there's so much backing after this, you guys. Okay, next we have our Certificate of Merit for French Roundhand. We have 3 of these students, and the first of which is Anandita Biswas. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yahoo! Yippee! One more for you, Annie. Oh, that's not high enough energy. There we go. Woohoo! Yeah! Woohoo! So Annie is she's quite a personality in the calligraphy community. You guys might know her from different places, Instagram, or she's on a couple of the other community platforms and stuff like that. This was a really nice experience for me to get to know Annie a little bit more as she came through the French Roundhand course. I will say that she is very persistent when she sets her heart on being good at something. She really puts her head down and puts her hand to the work, and it obviously shows off when it comes to designing a certificate like this. French Roundhand is a little different than EngrossScript in that there's not as much pressure and release. But it is very difficult to get such even spacing, and having a centered design like this is tricky as well. So Annie did a great job fitting it all here in the certificate, and I'm very thankful that we had you in class this year, Annie, and I've enjoyed watching you. You did the flourishing as well. So I hope that we see more of you around DIS, and thanks for all your hard work. Go, Annie! Okay. Next, we have, all the way from Finland, I want to say, Olga Harrison. Woo! 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 Olga is a very interesting person. This was one of the certificates. Actually, this was the last certificate to come back. We were a little worried it wouldn't make it here in time because she waited didn't wait. She waited so long for it to arrive, and then when it did arrive, she had not a ton of time to work on it. So getting it done, turn around, and then I have a deadline. They had to have it back to me about a month ago, and it was a buzzer beater, but we did it. Olga, we got it here in time, and here it is. It's signed. It's beautiful. Look at that. She fit 5 lines into such a small space, which is a feat. And Olga is, she wasn't super vocal on the community forum, but when she was vocal, she's just the kind of person that strikes your interest. She likes, she's studying classical singing, and there's something about opera, and there's something about Gothic fiction. And I just always, whenever I see her posts, I click on them as fast as I can because I was so curious what she was working on, how things were going. Olga, I would love to see you, come back and do more with Dreaming in Script and continue to be a part of the community and share more about yourself. I think the DIS community is interesting because it has so many dynamic characters that all have different interests and hobbies and worldviews, and you bring so much to the table when you are a musician, for one, and also when you just are open to so many different fields of interest. So, Olga, I find you fascinating, I should say. And you did a wonderful job here. I hope you're proud of your certificate, and I am excited to get it back to you. Great job. Yes, come to the IDEAS chat with us, Olga, because she did study in grocery script with us in a previous year. All right. And our last certificate of merit from way down under, Heather McGowan. Woohoo! Yay! Woo! Oh. Woohoo! Yeah! Woohoo! Woo! Great job, Heather. Heather is a very sweet woman, I should say. This is an impressive feat because in the middle of the course, Heather took some time off to travel. I think she went to Tasmania, and when she came back, she said something along the lines of, "I took a couple weeks off. It feels like I'm starting all over again." And I think that is just so. I can resonate. I can empathize with that because that's how I feel very often. I take a break from script, and I think that it's going to come back easy, and I step back into it, and it doesn't right away. But once you start to get back into the swing of things start to come a little more naturally. And Heather, I know, I'm sure that you have your thoughts about how your certificate came out and all that, but one of your goals when you started the course was that you just wanted to make cards for your friends and your family. And I think that this script will allow you to do that. You can use this. People are going to cherish this. They will see it. They will hold on to it. They will put it on the fridge. They will put it in their scrapbooks. You've absolutely fulfilled that. And I just think that there's so much to take away from watching someone like you complete the Dreaming in Script course while having a hectic life. There are a lot of people that sign up for the courses that don't end up, making it all the way to the end because life gets in the way. And we always say that life gets in the way, but you made it a priority to come back and see this through, and that is something to be admired, and it's something that really will just be such a strength of yours in the future, whatever you decide to do with your French Roundhand. So seriously, thank you for your hard work and for overcoming the challenges that were presented to you in the production of this certificate. I think it came out amazing. You did a wonderful job with your spacing, both left and right. Your spacing inside of the words is fantastic. Slant, letter forms, all that. Again, remember, this is just a stepping stone. So if you want your script to be better than this, it can be. If this was the greatest script that you ever wrote, I would still call that a great success. So you did a wonderful job. Thank you for all of your hard work. All right. 1 second. sure I got this right. I'm now going to bring onto screen 2 pictures. These are the student mentors, Sneha on the left and Tony on the right. And I wanted to take a special moment during this ceremony, again, just to recognize how much work goes into being a student mentor. I had the great privilege of meeting Tony in person at the convention in Norfolk a couple weeks ago, and I have not had a chance to meet Sneha in person, although we've been friends for several years at this point. I just want to say, Dreaming in Script is what it is because of you two. You know, I might write the curriculum and I might kind of call some of the shots and things like that, but when you're really thinking about what Dreaming in Script is, it's the culture in the community forum. It is the inquisitive way that both of you approach students and questions about script, and I can see every time that you interact with people that come through these programs that they are leaving with new ideas surrounding how they're going to learn, what's right and what's wrong, or what's the fluidity in that statement even. Sneha, you have been such an encouraging and nurturing person to so many of us emotionally. You've been, in a lot of ways, like a maternal figure for so many people in the community, and I know that people feel safe receiving critique from you, and that's a huge thing, because critique is scary, and people don't necessarily have experience with it when they come into a calligraphy course. Tony, you are so analytical and logical and detail-oriented that you bring a specific and scientific voice to the community that is very valued by me and so many others. It is something that I think really has helped to elevate the technical understanding of a lot of people in the last couple of years, and I know that you're getting a reputation now for being the diagram guy, but it's so much more than that. I can see in the way that you speak and defend your logic and your reasoning with script that you really are thinking it through, and this is true for both of you. I always say, when people come through the courses, I don't want them to learn to write in grocer script exactly like David. I might present a somewhat limited, view of the subject, like I say, these are the forms we're learning, and learn them like this, and here's how the system works. But both of you have really taken ownership of your script and your practice in a way that is inspiring, and it is a model by which I think all Dreaming in Script students could strive to live and to practice. So thank you to both of you for all of your hard work. It seriously means the world to me. No matter what you guys do in the future, whether you break off and want to start your own school, or you want to travel the world teaching calligraphy, or you just want to write cards for other penmen, or you want to, anything you want to do, I will always be in your corner. I will be cheering you on, and you will always have a spot here at Dreaming in Script. So thank you, Sneha and Tony. Whoa! Whoa! I wish I could throw it over the pictures. I can't. Okay. Coming back to you. Oh, let's do it. Oh, I'm going to get glitter in my eye. I know I am. Okay. Well, with that, we are at the conclusion of the ceremony this year. Oh, I think I've got glitter. I'm getting out of my face. We're at the conclusion of the ceremony this year. It is another year for the books. I'm really excited about where Dreaming in Script is going. I'm so honored to be able to add these students to the alumni page, and I'll be doing that in the next couple of days. If you have any questions about what goes into doing this for yourself and to being involved in Dreaming in Script in this way, please feel free to reach out and email me. I have a contact form on my website. But more than that, feel free to reach out to any person who's gone through Dreaming in Script and just ask them what they thought. Some will have really positive things to say, and some might not have positive things to say. I'm not afraid of any version of that. I would be just so happy if you would reach out and consider the program in the future. I'm going to be making some changes. We shifted the way that the EngrossoScript program works this year. So instead of being one big program, it's been 2 programs with a break in the middle. And the intermediate version of it, which is the second half, is coming out on September 1st. And you guys will be able to sign up for that, assuming that you have previous EngrossoScript experience, and preferably that you have gone through a DIS course before. So even if you completed your Certificate of Merit in a previous year, keep an eye out for the intermediate course. It's going to be all new curriculum, all new projects, a lot of fun, and we have a good group of people that are going to be carrying over that just finished the beginner program. So again, that starts on September 1st. Another fun thing that we're doing this summer is Sneha, so the student mentor that we just showed, is going to be transitioning into her first time of teaching her Dreaming in Script. So Sneha and I do private lessons together, and one of the things that we've been talking about is the natural evolution from studying script into teaching script. And so she's written a 4-week curriculum that we're calling Sneha's Adda. Adda is a Hindi word. It means a hangout or a place where people gather. And that's going to be starting on August 1st. So the prerequisite for that is you have to have taken EngrossoScript of any variety with Dreaming in Script before, with the exception of the primer. You have to have either graduated or gone through a previous year's course or just finished the beginner course. And if you have questions about that, reach out to me or reach out to Sneha. You can find her contact info all over the website. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just really proud that she is making that transition. And I'm super honored that she's going to allow me to be her student mentor, which is just a chance for me to pay back some of the incredible amount of energy and effort that she's put towards DIS over the years. So Sneha's Adda, Intermediate ES, those are coming up. I will leave you with this thought. There's a lot of people talking about community over the last several months, a year. Instagram calligraphy has changed quite a bit. Online groups are fragmenting and becoming, more insular or going on platforms that not everyone wants to be on. There's not really a great place where everyone can go that's a calligrapher, where everyone can be together. But one of the really great things that you can do for your practice is to try to go out of your way to meet people in the real world. And again, I mentioned that I just met Tony for the first time a couple weeks ago in Virginia, and it is such an amazing experience to get to take this thing that we all spend, countless hours of our lives working on and share it in person with someone. So whether you're in DIS or you're not in DIS, or maybe you're not even a calligrapher, try to find some time to go and meet the people that you've been interacting with and really forge these real friendships. I think that's going to be the saving grace of the calligraphy community in the next handful of years, is that we need to find a way to come together and do amazing things in person and to build friendships that can last. As these platforms change, as we get older, as life gets more complicated. So anyway, that's my soapbox speech for this year. I hope that you'll consider it. And I'm always open if you want to send me an email or something. If you're having a hard time finding a community, you're having a hard time finding a study buddy or a mentor or whatever it is that you're looking for. I know a lot of people, and I can sometimes help orchestrate those things and put people together. And if you're at DIS and you've finished DIS now and you're saying, well, it's a shame it's over because now my classmates are going to kind of scatter to the wind, send me an email and maybe I can find you someone that's completed your program in a previous year, or someone that is in your program that is also looking for that continued friendship. I think if that could be what DIS brings to you guys, is building friendships, then that would be more successful. That'd be a stronger legacy to me than that I make great curriculum and people learn to write script well as a byproduct of taking my courses. I want to make friends, and I want to make penman friends very specifically. So, all right, with that, I will see you guys next year. We'll have a whole new certificate. So this is the last time you're seeing that certificate design, and there will be a new process by which the students this year will be able to pursue their Certificate of Merit. And until then, do good work in your own way. All right. Adios.